From smart cities and sustainable real estate, we are heading over to a brilliant lost and found case that I could found and that will take place in a second. So there is a lost and found case that found its fun and eco-friendly mission while, metaphorically speaking, diving deep into the ocean. I'm super excited to welcome two amazing guests here on stage. First, we have Heather Delaney, the brilliant founder of Gallium Ventures. She is an award-winning global advisor and internationally recognized tech expert. And secondly, we have Primož Zelenšek, the CEO of Chipolo, a leading Bluetooth item tracker. Now, Chipolo isn't just helping you to find your lost key or wallet. It's all about making a positive impact on our planet. So their Chipolo ONE Ocean Edition, which won Wired Magazine's Gear of the Year, is a fantastic example of how tech can be both fun and eco-friendly. So welcome on stage, the both of you.
Well, guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren. I'd like to welcome Primož to the stage. I'll give a quick background. So I am Heather, the founder of Gallium Ventures. And what that means is my background tends to be helping large companies and small companies from building and fixing. So I tend to help from the product development, the PR marketing, and exits. But we're here to talk about quite a big topic. So Primož, do you mind introducing yourself and saying a bit about, when and why you founded Chipolo?
Hi, I'm Primož, CEO and one of the co-founders of Chipolo. We founded this company in 2013, and of course it's a startup. Today it's a scale-up company. And before, does anyone know the game Activity? The charades and doing pantomime. So before the Chipolo, we've been doing mobile applications, and one of them was also digitalize a boarding game of Activity. We just did it, and we knock on the door of Austrian company Payetnik and represent that game in the digital way. And they are trying, of course, to sell the game. And after that, we've been making mobile applications. And one day, one of the co-founders came, and he was looking for his wallet. His wallet, more or less, every time, more or less, right? So we say, what about if, so we know how to make mobile games, right? And mobile applications. What about do some small hardware which you can put inside your pocket, attach it to your keys, or put it inside the wallet, and you were able to find it. And that was in 2012, and we came out with a Kickstarter campaign in 2013. And at that time, a few other companies actually came with the same idea. There is one reason. The Bluetooth 4.0 came out, and the technology was somehow prepared to make this use case actually in life, and it was a very nice start.
Yeah. So you're based in Slovenia, is that correct?
Yeah, we are based in Slovenia from one relatively small town, so only 15,000 people are living there. We do minings for 200 years, and then in 90s, majority of the companies which was supporting a mining industry actually died, so it was more or less nothing around us. And we just need to do something for ourselves, right?
So why would you keep the company based in Slovenia, not move it to, Silicon Valley or London or Hong Kong?
At first, majority of the founders are from that town, and it was, somehow easy for us. We have one subsidiary in the States, so a branch of Chipolo. We in the past we had some employees there as well. We have one office in the capital city in Ljubljana, also another one in Maribor, because some people is very hard to find, but the core people, so a majority of the employees, so today we have around 70 employees, are from that hometown. And I think it was, at the end, a decision, and being with the families also affect very much on this decision. And I think no matter where you are, you can sell products around the globe, because the elements, the key element is not, from where you are. It's more about what is the idea and how you are executing that idea.
Yeah. I mean, I find that interesting. So I have a horrible accent, and apologies in advance. I was born in Silicon Valley. I live in London. I'm a dual national. So I often find that companies will move their office to Silicon Valley because they feel like they need to. But you've kept it local. So the manufacturing and everything, and just, finger in the air, I would assume you probably spend a couple of million a year locally on, partnerships, manufacturing, local suppliers, charity work. So I personally find it interesting that you have kept it to such a level instead of moving it elsewhere. Has that been a benefit for you, keeping it close?
Keeping everything locally is having a lot of benefits. Of course, there are also obstacles. So I'm often asking myself if Europe is really the best place for producing consumer products. There are some limitations, sometimes you don't have the access to all the materials that easily, or you don't have the access to test things. But today you can find partners around the globe, and maybe you will spend more time on that, but you can find it. So to keep the production locally, we on the beginning start producing very enthusiastically by ourselves, which was not a good idea, honestly speaking. And then we start outsourcing everything. So we start outsourcing to Japan, some products to China. But at one stage, I was thinking maybe we could, robotize the production and have everything in-house. And it was a very good decision because during the COVID, we just couldn't travel, and we've been very fast at that time, launching actually new products because we have everything under control. And it was somehow paid. Plus, of course, supporting the local economy. At the end, that's our home, right? And if the home actually became nicer and nicer, you need to be there and make jobs for people, and increasing how much they could earn per month, because that actually helped the local economy. And today we just do the rough calculation. It's the impact on our hometown in a level of 2 million euros per year.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like this is one of the key values for Chipolo, is keeping it local as well. Is that right?
That's definitely one of them. We are also quite honest between each other and to our partners. So if something's wrong, we are just saying as it is. We would like to be responsible, not only having a local production and trying to, of course, use more recycled materials and use less plastics, reduce how much energy we need to produce things. Then, one of the key values is also having fun doing business and developing products, because we are living only once, right? Maybe there is some other theories, but you need to spend your time being surrounded with people which you love, right? Friendship is a core value also ours, because 7 guys actually established this company, and we know each other from now for almost 35 years. That's our story.
I like that. I like how you guys have that built-in culture and that kind of moves throughout the company. And it flows through the innovation as well. And actually, I do remember presenting an idea of sustainable products with you guys. And I think the fact that you're open to working with partners with sustainable materials and everything. And you do mention it, so I can show one slide, and you kind of briefly mentioned sustainable. So can you tell us a bit about the Chipolo ONE Ocean Edition?
Yeah, so in 2020 we launched a platform of a new key finder, so Chipolo ONE. And then, so even before we start thinking, can we do something, or can we change the plastics? Because there are so many, there's so many waste of that plastic today that really shocks me every time when I'm in oceans or also in sea. And we say let's do our first step, because changing the core electronics like PCBs is quite hard to use it recycled. But on the plastics and on the packaging itself, where it's quite a lot of material at the end, definitely there is a space. And we're not just doing that because there is a trend. You can see that a lot of companies start doing that. We just do it in our way, I would say. And say, yeah, let's find a company who is taking the plastic out of the ocean, and there are many of those, fishing nets, and majority of the plastics in the ocean, I think, there are those nets. And yeah, we did this edition of Chipolo Ocean Edition already 4 years ago. We had many issues with that. The plastic was physically, mechanically cleaned, but still it was mistakes on the outer shapes, and it doesn't fit everything together. We need to change tools. So it was from quite expensive learnings, but on long term, definitely that's the way where we are seeing our company.
And selfishly. Hello. Selfishly, I did help with the PR of that, and I remember there were about 150 articles that went live at lunch. So the Metro, Forbes, Verge, Yenko Design. So it does show that when companies can create a sustainable product, whether it's a version of something that they have already or it's from start sustainable, the media are genuinely interested in it. The media coverage was fantastic. It shows that, consumers as well. Consumers, obviously, people who are here listening to sustainability, are interested in products that have a sustainable angle to it. But I feel like you probably have some interesting learnings, because a normal consumer would assume that you can go from virgin plastic, which is, let's be honest, most of what's in the room and at this show. So virgin plastic and moving over to sustainable materials, which might be a mixture of ocean plastic or seaweed or any other example, would just be like for like. But you did kind of touch on the fact that there were some learnings.
Yeah, what we learn is that everybody is very enthusiastic about that, but at the end consumer are not willing to pay more for that. So at the end, producing products from recycling materials, it's definitely more costly, because that material is more costly. Plus, so maybe for our range of company, I believe that larger companies can do those things maybe easier. They have more resources. They could negotiate for the larger volumes, and then everything is maybe cheaper. But for the smaller companies like ours, that's not the case. So it's more expensive. And we learned that, people are very enthusiastic, but the product must be perfect. Plus, it must be for the same cost.
So it sounds like from a consumer side, there's an interest in sustainability. From a business side, there's an interest in meeting that demand. But we need the larger companies to be able to also join the game so that there's more affordable way to do it. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Larger companies can do bigger impact. It's logical. If they are producing million and million and million of products, then they could also, reduce the costs of recycling the materials. Plus, of course, we need to ask ourselves how we can, change the way that we are. That there's no need to, to take the plastic out of the oceans, for example. So their fundamentals are also probably somewhere else. But yeah, as you mentioned, so larger companies could definitely faster, do this impact on the market.
Now, in addition to the Chipolo ONE Ocean Edition, you've recently come out with another product this year, which I think is a really interesting spin on sustainability because it's something that everybody can actually be doing. So can you explain a bit more about the Perfectly Imperfect campaign?
Yeah, as I mentioned, one of our core values is also being honest, right? We launched a credit card size tracker, and we had some issues with the plastic. So if you turn the products slightly around, you see some mistakes on the plastics. And our producer already produced more than 10,000 of those plastics. And we say, okay, we could throw that away, or we can do another test. Let's be honest and say, look, produce the products as they are and do the campaign around it. Mm-hmm. So the products are working exactly the same, but they are not perfectly from the outside. Mm. So it's not, maybe it also has some scratches, but they are as they are. Mm. So, and we've been just honest and say, look, we would like to do that, plus we will donate $1, so the same as with the Ocean Edition, to support local economy, plus slightly it was also a global impact on to our organizations.
Yeah. Now, when you say that there are slight imperfections, I mean, I saw the products at CES this year, and I mean, you have to really look at the light in a very specific angle. These are not flaws that you would actually notice. Now, this is something that would happen with every single brand that is underneath this roof. They will have a percentage that will end up going into landfill or anything else. So I found that a very creative way to, this is a problem that the industry generally has, and here's a solution, is presenting it as, I mean, it's quite a unique approach, but presenting it as a product that consumers can still want, feels the same, generally looks the same, unless you're very, very carefully looking under a microscope. And I would say, even from just a PR perspective, from what I remember, there was about 3.7 billion kind of impressions across various countries, which, once again, as a case study, shows that the media are interested in this and consumers are interested in this. Is that right?
Yeah. It happened the same as with the ocean. It was a very nice campaign. Mm-hmm. We sold some of the products. In total, we are producing around 1 million of products per year. So, but still, the percentage of those products are not that huge as we would expect. And the same was with the Perfectly Imperfect campaign. At the end, we will be selling those volume, but it will take much, much longer time.
Okay. So from both campaigns, looking, because each is a different example of how you can create something in a different sustainable way, is there any key learning, anything that you would want to tell the audience, just in case there's some founders here that are looking to slipstream what you've come out with?
The mistakes are happening in the production, right? So definitely the key learning is improve the production to really minimize how many products you are throwing away. And for us is, we just use our core values. So we will just be honest and do it in our way. But at the end, economics are not, here really it doesn't work. So.
Yeah. So we've kind of looked at the past, we've looked at the present. So looking a bit at the future, I know that you guys have partnered with brands like Google, Apple. There's companies like Dell, Nokia, Samsung. They've come out with eco packaging, or maybe they've got a recycling program. You guys obviously have a recycling program. You've come out with sustainable option as well. Is there anything that you think the wider industry should be doing that will help? Because I think consumers want it. Small, medium businesses want it, but what is a wider look?
Yeah, so definitely, for every product there is usually a packaging which we just throw away very quickly, right? There is a huge trend, not a trend, somehow it will be a standard that we remove the plastic materials from those packaging, which is very hard because you need to have the upper layer of the plastic, otherwise you have scratches on the packaging itself. So it's a very, I would say, challenging situation. But yeah, definitely the companies could do many, many things, and many companies are already doing that. My personal opinion is that we should focus more on the products which could stay alive, right, for a longer period, not just purchase something and throw away tomorrow. But that doesn't go directly with the results of those companies and our companies. So at the end, you need a certain volume that you can survive. So yeah, I hope that the market would recognize that maybe it's better to pay for slightly more and have a more durable product which you can use for longer time.
That makes sense. So one quick question. We've looked at the product side. Partnerships are a very interesting aspect to your business. Are there anything that you should be telling us that maybe you're announcing now? Any partnerships that you're coming out with? Because that's a really important point for so many businesses.
Yeah, so as you mentioned before, Google and Apple, we have very good relationship with them because Chipolo was the first company who integrated a Find My capability on one of our lines, and we did the same with Google. So now we have the Spot line and the Point line. One is working inside the Apple ecosystem. The second one works inside the Google Find My device ecosystem. But our knowledge and also our production capability and the way how we are thinking and producing things now is interesting for many companies. And we just announced 3 partnerships like we did together with a company Metabo. It's a German brand. We did a special tracker. It has a bigger battery. It has, what I just mentioned before. It's more solid and durable product, which will stay alive for longer. We are doing with iodine. It's SSD disk, very solid one. And also with Knurps, umbrella company, we're doing something new and interesting. So yeah, we're seeing on long term many partnerships where we could help companies to integrate Google or Apple ecosystems. Plus, we are making firmware by ourselves, and we could do many customizations. So yeah,
that's good. Well,
interesting field.
I like it. I'm aware of the time. I think if anyone's interested in Chipolo, they've got a booth not far from here. Take a look. You can see some of the sustainable products and speak with Primož directly. But thank you very much for joining. I think actually you've got some really interesting case studies which brands should be taking a look at. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.